Hey everyone, hope you're well. In this Forza Horizon 4 video, we'll be discussing some tips for earning money and credits in the game. So we're going to say today for players who already have a few hours of play on Forza Horizon 4. Having already a little bit of budget and possibly a fairly advanced profile on the game, it's true that I've already made several videos where I showed you some basic methods to quickly increase your money. But it's true that at the moment, as soon as I make a video or a live on Forza Horizon 4, you are still many to ask me how it happens that I have so much money. So it's true that not so long ago, in fact, I was barely at like 15-20 million, and now I'm almost at 100 million. So I'm going to show you a little bit how it happens. In fact, you're going to see that it's quite logical in the end. That after a while, we start to really earn a lot of money. And to store a lot. So a small video simply to explain how I did it. And to reassure a little bit some players who might only discover the game now, and who might think that I glitched. I never glitched once on the game. At least as far as money is concerned. So there you go. Yesterday we made a small video where I simply talked about the cars in the game that had somewhat inconsistent prices. In the game, the values of cars don't reflect their real-world prices. For example, the Chiron cost $250,000 in the auction room, while a Clio V6 cost $20 million. In reality, it would be the opposite. Today, we'll discuss this discrepancy in more detail. In any case, rest assured, I did not do any glitch, and I will explain to you why, after a while, you will really quickly increase in money. In Forza Horizon 4, if you start the game now, you will have all the clothes unlocked from the beginning. Most of these clothes are won through wheel spins, which means that initially, many of your wheel spins will not be very useful to you. That is to say, you will have raffles, you will win clothes, t-shirts, stuff like that, but if you are like me, you don't care. And above all, it brings in absolutely no credit. In addition to that, before, in the game, when you get a car in Wheelspin, if you already had that model in the game, in your garage, nothing happens now, if you already have one. So it's considered a duplicate, it immediately offers to exchange it for credits, and that, believe it or not, changes your life. Well, I have some wheel spins set aside, which we're going to do now for the example, because I think we're definitely going to get duplicates, so we might get a little bit of money quickly, and it's simply one of the keys that have made me have quite a bit of money in the game now. It's simply that after a while in Wheelspin, you're inevitably going to get a lot of duplicates. Sometimes duplicates, you can get cars that cost 10 million, and all you have to do is resell the duplicate for 5 million, and that already gives you a big boost. But let's say 100,000 here, 100,000 there in a 1 or 2 hour gaming session, it adds up quickly. In addition to that, if you have super wheel spins, it can really go very fast. Also, just a little info for curiosity, maybe some of you are interested, but know that for the festival section, every week you can have 3 free super wheel spins offered by doing the seasonal publicity stunts. You often have one that is also offered as a reward, so from gathering remixes or super draws, etc., etc. And in addition to that, every week the game Forza Horizon 4 offers you in the gifts here, from the gift shelter, they will offer you 2 super wheel spins, so that's a minimum of 5 super wheel spins per week, which makes 15 rewards since a super spin gives you 3 rewards each time. If you get 2 legendary rewards out of these 15, just having 400,000 credits puts a credit in one go plus a car that resells for $1 million, and you'll see that it increases very quickly. So here I have some yes spins, we're gonna do them out of curiosity, you'll see that it goes up quietly. Yeah, down there for example, before that wasn't possible, you see the Monero. I already have it. Before, if you already had this car, it was added to your garage, and you got nothing in exchange. After that, indeed, I don't know if we have a little more luck and we'll spin there. Indeed, we get a lot of stuff, a little bit rinsed. For example, the exterior cough hooligan. I'm going to take this one. It resells for 25,000, but for the moment be careful because this kind of car can resell for more at auction. So when you have somewhat rare models like that, sometimes you have to think a little bit. But already in a few yes spins, we've already gone up about 100,000 credits. And if you're lucky, if you're like me and you've already had the wheel spin $1 million, it goes up extremely fast. You see, another 180,000, and since I have no more clothes to unlock, I only get profitable wheel spins. Obviously, part of my money comes from there, part of my money comes from races, since I do quite often races with subscribers. And especially the real good method, the real thing to pay attention to, and that can really make you extremely rich in the game, is something I do a little bit from time to time now. At the beginning, I didn't necessarily have the flex to do it, but now that I wanted to reach the 100 million, I do it. It's actually every new season in the game. Well, you normally have 4 new cars that are added to the game. These are cars that generally cost very, very expensive, several million, like for example the Clio V6, which now costs 20 million. But generally these cars always end up coming back, either as a reward from Wheelspin, or as a reward from Forza Tom, or as a reward from Festival Selection. And what I advise you to do simply is, at the beginning of each new series in the game, so what they call the series, is basically 4 weeks with 4 weather changes. Basically, it's a year in the game, but it corresponds to a series, currently in the Series 18. What I advise you to do is actually, each time there is a new series, is to look at the rewards, because among the cars that are going to be won over the 4 weeks, there are necessarily some that you already have in your garage that can be more or less rare, that you will be able to resell in advance for several million, and then unlock them again for free via the rewards of festival sections. So I'll explain a little more. For example, there's a good example, the Rimac Concept 2, which now resells for around 10 million. I already have one. I know I'm going to win a festival selection, so I'm going to put mine up for sale. The Rimac Concept 2 is going to sell in about 2 seconds. It's going to sell between 10 and 20 million, and I know that in 3 weeks I'll have reached the 80%, and I'll be able to get it back. And right now, not many people are paying attention to that, which means there are a lot of people who are getting fooled, who are not necessarily aware that such and such model is going to come back in the festival section, and so there is a way to make quite a bit of money on the backs of others, so to speak. You have to take advantage of that a little bit, and you see that it's quick to make cash. If we look, for example, at the MC12 FE, you can resell it for several million. People don't necessarily know that it's unlockable via Maserati Throw, which allows you to get it for free via stunt points. The Rimac. It's the same there. What else do we have? We have the Ford Mustang, which could resell quite expensive. The MC12 Corsa. Well, I'm a little bit late because that's the reward from last week, but it's to give a little example. The MC12 Corsa, which also resells for several million, because it's only been on the game once. What else do we have? Let's look a little bit at the next week's, the 280. That's a good example. If it still sells for 20 million, it's completely overrated. It's not fast at all, but it sells very expensive. The Ventador 2016, well, it's not necessarily a good example because it's worth nothing. What else do we have? After that, the GT3 RS 2019 always sells very, very expensive. The case of the caps that always cost a little but much less than before, and obviously after, what else do we have? The Unicorn 5.2. We have about 7.6 this example of cars that will be able to resell easily on the game, each between. Let's take the low prices for those who really have smaller levels of painter, of regulator, minimum 2 million and up to 20 million. And these are cars that you will be able to obtain precisely by doing the tests. You can be sure if you do the test that you will block them. And so it's a shot to take 30,000-40,000 credits on the month. Just and well by taking advantage of the auction house and taking advantage of the fact that people don't necessarily pay attention to that. So I know that today, with this video, there might be more people who will pay attention, but there are millions of players on Forza. There are not millions of players who will see this video. So don't hesitate, pinch it. It's a little tip. We don't necessarily think about it, but it's super profitable. And then, know that, obviously, there is also another part of my money which comes from the auction room precisely. Buying cars not too expensive, reselling them a little more expensive. It's also a method that allows you to make a lot of cash. The problem is that it's a little more complicated to do, since to really get good deals on the game, on the auction room, you have to farm the auction room between 2 and 5 in the morning. The most expensive models are sold when the majority of players are playing Forza Horizon 4. Due to time zone differences, not all Americans are playing simultaneously. Typically, between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m., many rare cars in France go up for auction. People often put them up for sale during these time slots to exchange with friends, and not necessarily for high prices. It's easy to recover models sometimes. Putting them back on sale for 20 million credits the next day only costs 200,000-300,000 credits. So, having a lot of money in the game doesn't necessarily mean it's a glitch. People have asked me if I glitched the Goliath when it was possible, but I never did. Even though I have 100 million credits, I know people, maybe Nico will recognize himself, who have about 600 million credits on their account without glitching. Look at the cars that are going to come back in the auction room. In Festival Selection, sell them and unlock them again to have the complete collection. So obviously nothing forces you to do it, but it was for the little precision, and I think it can still help new players of Forza Horizon 4, or in any case not necessarily the new ones, because you still need to have a good base of vehicles to be able to do this. But all I want to say is that after a while anyway, on the game, You will have all the money will stagnate, and you will enjoy having already everything to enjoy selling some very expensive cars to get them back after, so there you go. Don't worry, you too will one day be loaded in the game. You'll have all the cars and won't know what to do with your money. Like me, you'll have 100 million credits with nothing left to buy. It might even be too much. Anyway, I hope this little video has been interesting to you. Anyway, it will have demystified the money I have on the game, and obviously I hope that for those who are maybe in the range of 1 or 2 million credits on the game, will take full advantage of this trick to go up to 30, 40, 50 million or more, until they can buy all the houses and all the rare cars that interest them. Anyway, there you go. Don't hesitate if this video interested you to leave a little like, even if, well, there, honestly. Today's video there may not necessarily be a lot of editing. It was a video I prepared a little in advance, but it's a little bit, especially I react to the recent comment I had on videos, on lives. It's true that I went from 70 to 90 million on the game. In 2 weeks not playing that much, so it may seem suspicious, but it's not. So there you go. Don't hesitate to like, comment to tell me if you have other credit tricks. Let's say, I haven't mentioned yet. That is to say, everything that concerns the farm on such or such a test, already talked about in many videos. What concerns the cars? With credit bonus and poetry. I've already talked about it many times in video. So there you go. If you have new methods, a little special, don't hesitate to share and then go. No, don't hesitate to subscribe. Activate the little bell to be aware the next time I live. End a video simply. And then don't hesitate to look in descriptions and comment. For my little support links, you can find me on Twitter or on Facebook to be aware of a panic of videos to find on Twitch. For the lives, you can obviously support me for free in advertising via my Utip link, which is under this video. I tell you very soon. Hello everyone, bye.